Actually, also, I was born and brought up in a small town in UP, India. That's made it. And my earlier education was from there. And there I did my graduation, post graduation. Yeah, initially I was not that much focused about like, okay, what to do next. But curiosity was always there to know. And that is actually, we can say the mother of all the creations is like curiosity. So that was always there, being a science student. So every time I'm asking the question, why it's so, why it's so. Although sometime I get the answer, sometime I didn't, but still the journey start going on. And at that time, there was not like that much internet, that much computer. So we were not that much connected to the whole world, but there's still we were very doing great during our classes time, your early educations, your concepts and all the things. And especially when it was in my post graduation, my two of the professors, they were very very nice, and that actually grabs my attention towards basically in organic chemistry. And it was great being there, in a hometown, and you're studying in the same place. But it was really, what I felt now, it was like you're in a small zone and then you are learning something, but still you lack something because you're not connected to the whole world and you don't know actually what's happening around the world. You can only just rely on only on the TVs and all something. Nowadays, everything is so handy to everyone, so we can connect to everyone like the same way what we are doing here right now. But at that time it was very very hard. And then when I just after my post graduation, I actually wanted to join one of the army based education masters. I went there and I cracked all the five examinations for that SSP examination. But at the same time, when there was a fine finale, and then there was something urge, okay, I don't want to do this. I want to do something in science and especially in chemistry. So I said, okay, no, I quit. I'll do my PhD. So thereafter, there's a start searching for that, the professor, to whom, I can approach or somebody can take me and, groom me in this sense of, your research area or organic chemistry. In that case, I went here and there in Delhi, and I met few of the professors, but it was very hard to reach to their laboratory. It was very hard. You need to go and bang, again and again. So I was fortunate enough, I got a professor. He is actually he's a late professor now. He's not there anymore. He was actually the professor in medical college, in Meerut Medical College. He was actually a biochemist there, and it was affiliated with the Meerut University. So I got everything in my hometown. So it was good. I started learning the things, setting up all the experimental work. It was nice experience with him. I learned a lot, my heterocyclic chemistry, my synthesis, and all the part. And at that time, it was my what my professor gave us a freedom of writing skills. So there, I developed my writing skills. We go and publish our research. So at that time, it was not very very common in all the professors laboratory that okay, you go and publish. Right now its scenario is completely different. Everyone wants to publish, but at that time it was very few people who actually know what is a word to reach to the complete one. So it was that at that time I really got like my PhD. I did my sixth publication. It was somehow good bad, but it was good. I grabbed a proper attention in that one, because I was also got a call from who is who in the world. That was some survey sort of things. I didn't know about much about the rest of the world at that time. It was only a very small zone. And after my graduation, my PhD, I got a chance to, initially it was, I was not like getting a job there. So it was, I got the job in engineering college and I taught there. And then I was just keep on applying for the different postdoc fellowships. And fortunate, and it was, by God grace, I got the call from Professor Ketreski, a well-known figure in heterocyclic chemistry. So it was Professor Ellen Wright Petrasky group that I joined in 2012. Oh, sorry, 2008. I joined in 2008. Professor Petrasky group. as an organic chemist, as a postdoc fellow. And they are actually, that is actually changing time for me, to join that much big group and to discuss most about, the different part of the world. And initially, it was a little bit, I was shy enough to inculcate the things, to express your way, what you feel about the chemistry, what you feel about the things. But there I have learned. So initially, it was the first year was very hard enough to mingle up all the, the group members and all the things, and to grab up the things. Sometimes, they also felt it. Okay, you are from the other part of the world. You don't know much about it. They don't pay much attention towards what you are thinking in that research part. So what happened in like first year, but at the same time, the professor was very, 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 very nice to us, and he was actually observing. At that time, the professor was not like he was putting much effort in, just giving a keynote idea, like a keynote idea means I can say the keywords to the ideas. So it's your job to search the idea, to plan up the things and everything, and sooner I become the group leader in his big group. It was like a 40 different, the 40 people in the group. So it was a very huge group in University of Florida. And we would have a complete, laboratories. A series of labs were there, which were occupied by my professor. And I was leading a group where I was having a four member who was working for me. And there I have learned a lot. I did what actually his area was in benzotriazole chemistry. So we were exploring the benzotriazole in another, like in each and every aspects of chemistry. But thereafter, I've started working onto that company projects, and there he was giving us a different company project. We worked with the L'Oreal research and development, and we worked with Exxon company work. So it was like he was having a different groups in his complete group, different subgroups. They were working on a different area. So there, actually, he gave me the wings to think about myself and to come up with the new ideas. So it was actually a game changer in me. And I was there for about like 4 years. I was married at that time. I gave the birth to my son there, and later on, because of some family reasons, my husband got the job in India, and we wanted to come back. And at the same time, my son was so little. I really don't want to, do two the things together, to be there in US taking care of a son as well as doing my own job. So I thought, why not to just take a break, because it was like I was on the toes completely, just to maintaining the home as well as these labs and all the things. Because during the time of my, even though, when I was just pregnant enough, I was actually, during that time, it was 3 months, 3 days before to my due date, I was going to the laboratory, I was doing my bench work. So that was, but the working environment was really, really great. And what I can think about it, okay, this was my the golden time period where I learned a lot, many things, how to execute the things, how to do the hard work, and how can you be, the fruitful towards the chemistry, your subject. The thing is, every time when you are searching something, when you are researching something, you are contributing towards this the whole society. It's not only the you that you are doing your research, it's like you are putting a little light in this complete world. Okay, that's your contribution towards the chemistry, towards your science. So it was great. And yeah, after coming back to India, I was actually so tired up of the things that I did not apply anywhere, before coming back to India. My husband was coming back, and I said, okay, I'll take a break, I'll come back. In case I didn't like it, I'll go back, to US. So I came back in 2012, and thereafter I applied for, the project as a young scientist. So it was a young scientist project that you can, write down the proposal and submit the proposal. And fortunately, I got that. My proposal was accepted, and I was able to, sustain with my husband. He was having a job in Bits Pilani. So it was my first host institution where I set up my laboratory. I got my project funding. So there, my journey turns into the different mode, because while working with professor, I was working in the area of benzotriazole chemistry. I was working in that area where what he likes me to work sometimes. He was giving us the ideas, a little ideas, and later on we need to explore it. But there we don't have that much free hand, okay, that apart from benzotriazole, if I do want to work in somewhere else, so that means whether I need to convince him a lot, huh? Whether the things will work or not. So that thing was not there. So it was, when I come back, and here come my independent researcher start, working at that time, when I grabbed the project and I started, I set up my laboratory from that funds, and I started working on that. Yes, it was, my colleagues, my friends were saying very optimistic project, like a very challenging one also, because in India the things are not same like the US. You cannot, grab everything so quick. So there was a system which was different, and here the system was different. So sometimes if you require some chemical, it takes a month, and after a month you can't do much of the things, but we started working on that, and it was great, that okay, I set up my laboratory. But the big thing was this, I was independent. That mean, what I really want to think, I can, do experimentally. So it was from there, it's coming in my mind, okay, I don't need to do anything for anyone. I need to do it for myself. What I think, it should be in this manner. Whether it should go or not, whether I can explore this thing in this part or not. So it was actually, I was working in peptide chemistry. So I wanted to work in, ligation strategies and all the things. It was a little challenging to set up the things, but once you set up the things, it was fruitful. Now if I go back and then see, okay, it was hard but it was good. Hmm. Because the freedom was there and you can work, and where you want to publish, it's up to you. So there I grabbed the attention, sorry. But at the same time, when I was just going for the different conferences and expressing my work and like showing my work, I got much appreciation everywhere. Everywhere I got much appreciation. That was, I was overwhelmed by this the thing. The people really, really, they put, like, what you say it, they actually, give you a proper attention, and they just give you the respect when you show your work. It's not like, okay, because the talent is everywhere. It's not like, yeah, you picked up me. The talent is everywhere, but sometimes you got limelighted, sometimes you're not. So it's there. But sometimes I really, what I felt during my journey, it was like, the most good thing is to paid off to me. It was the respect what I earned it, while explaining your work in a different, a big group of scientists. And after that, when there was a question answer sessions, and people, you can see, your respect in their eye, and then they come to you, and then they discuss the work with you. So it was great. And I completed my 3 years. I think the thing is, the best part in my life was my parents, who were very much supporting. I was from the joint family, so it was always the pressure, okay, this is a good time to marry. After, what, 25, it's a good time to marry. So go for marriage and all the things. But my parents always supported me. They said, okay, if you really wanted to go ahead, or if you would like to study further, then go first. We will not pressurize you for the marriage. Yeah, and then it was, my spouse. Actually, he is also in this field of area. So that was always a support to me, because he is also a researcher at that time. We both were, doing the PhDs at the same time, and then we were in the different area, and then they're coming up together. So it was a big support from my family point of view. Although the things is, what I observe it, I was a very timid girl, who doesn't, interact much with the different peoples, and I was from a very small town. It was very hard, sometimes to express yourself. So once I reached to the UF, and then there was my first presentation was there, and then you need to, tell the professor and complete the group, okay, that what did you work there. Although what I felt it, although you worked so much and you can express in better way, But because of that shyness and timidness, you feel a little bit, afraid. Okay, might be I am right, might be I'm not. So there was always, might be was there always. But the thing is, what I can, tell from my story, or I can say, okay, that the hard work and just believe in yourselves, just give you what the wings you really wanna have. So the hard work and believe in yourself. So first the thing is what I can advise to the young researcher, okay, believe in yourself. Don't think, what the other will say to you. So believe in yourself and do your things. So that was there. Okay. Look, after being an independent researcher, my first area is peptide. So I am basically an organic synthesis person. I started my journey from heterocyclic one and their synthesis. I learned all the skills there in UF, from the mini scale to the gram scale process of lot many things. It's not only this peptide chemistry. I've learned a lot many things. How various analytical tools I've learned there, and that thing, but at the same time, my always inclination was towards the peptide synthesis, a solution phase peptide synthesis, what we can do it and how we can fabricate the peptides for the better man and for the different applications. So that thing I picked it up, and in my first project I worked it on native chemical ligation. So I was just exploring the ligation experiments towards different amino acids. It's not like on a tryptophan, like sometimes the hard, tackling joining points in peptides. So I worked there, and after one of my project, I filed another project in this area, and I was working on the Staudinger peptide ligation. It was like, if I just give you a little bit note onto, like, Bartosi's work was a little bit related, because later on, I was actually citing her references there. She was also going for the bioorthogonal chemistry, where they were working on organic synthesis in a cell line culture, where it was so it was my work was related to, a little bit related toward that. I did my Staudinger peptide ligation. I got the challenges on whatever I was proposing in, and what I got it, but it was really, really, like I can say it, I put input into that I have introduced new phosphine ligands into this area, which can help for the synthesis of, if we can go for longer, or a patentship it can go longer. But the thing is, at being at my level, I was never over focused onto the patenting something. So I was more focused onto my work. Okay, I did it, I published it in this is area, I can more go for exploration. But after that, I joined as an independent professor there, in Amity University. Still now, because I have just joined, 2 year back there, and initially I am trying to grab more funds there, so that I can have my own laboratory and I can do what I really wanted to do. But at the same time, my main area, or a focus area, is in heterocyclic synthesis, and now I am moving on to the fluorescence one. So how I can make, like, fluorescent peptides, and how can I go for the application to that. In this line, I have, one of the amino acid, where I can fabricate the amino acid with the different fluorescence one. And we did the cell study for that one, that how the fluorescence reaches to the cell, whether it is going into the cell, the generation of a protein inside it, if it is going ahead, whether the new cells which is forming having the fluorescence there or not. So it is like more that I can go ahead with the more fluorescent peptide that can be used for the bioimaging. So that is my area of a work till now. But I am still, again, there are two more ideas that I really wanted to go ahead, but it depends on the funding. I've not started it up, but it depends on the funding, whether I got the funding and I have, my own laboratory there. Because in India it seems so, you got the two funds, you set up some laboratory, and suddenly, switch into the some other place. If you're switching into the some other place, you cannot, grab anything from one place to another place. So again, in another place, the challenges are there, that you need to set up the things, your laboratory and the things. So that is, I'm waiting for that. I still do have my two part-time PhD students. They're working in a company, and they are actually working in a company. They have like research laboratories there. So they are working in this line of action where we are just having, the more colorful materials and heterocyclic one, and whether we can inculcate into the peptides. That's my approach. It's more about, when you are teaching something and when you think, okay, it works, then what if you can tune up something else and you get it? I'll just give you a little example. Okay, you know that coloring material. Okay, you go grab the thing. It's a fluorescence. It's a red color. What if I can just switch into the another modification? Whether the red color will shift it to blue or not, whether the fluorescence or phosphorescence will come, and how come it will interact with the other material around you. So it is like how you can visualize the thing. Yeah, there are some sensing materials are there. So if you go for the application one, if you sense something, that's a very heavy material. You might be knowing a little bit about it. Like a heavy metals, if you really need to sense in the like highly polluted area, you need to sense something. So what if my agent, it's biocompatible, it's not harming you at all, and at the same time it's a sensing something, and after this sense, it's making its color change, so you don't need to, so it's going to be more friendly at that time. So that is actually my approach, and it's actually attracting me towards it. Okay, why can't I tune it up in this manner, on that manner? Okay, or I just sometimes, to my colleagues or friends, I say, okay, give me a challenge if you would like to have something in peptide, so I can make a fabrication into that. And whatever you want it, look, if you go ahead, we do have a nanotubes that they are used as a nanotube carriers. You can make it like a gel. If you have a gelation properties, you can make a gel, and you can use this gel in any kind of a ointment, and you can put it up the drug candidate into it. So at the same time, the drug candidate can approach towards with this gel. So it's really challenging in that point. It's also a good one. Look, it's not only the women I'm approaching to all of my students. When I normally teach, I say visualize everything, that you are doing something great. If you just look around, everything is chemistry. Everywhere you can see this chemistry. So this is very, very important. It's not like you are studying something. So study and think differently. Not think what I really want you to explain you. Just think up from your mind and come up with that idea. That idea might change the world. It's the same like a Newton's one. So the theory is always same, but you need to think differently. You need to think about in a different approach. Okay, this is not that what the other people are thinking. This is about what you thinks it is. And go ahead with that one. Might be that one. Yeah, it was not from here, not from India. When I was there doing my postdoc, there was one student. He came from Germany, and he was there on his 6 months, semester, like thesis work. And when he was working, he was very, very hard working. I did remember that one. He was very, very hard working. And when you motivate him, he came up with his own ideas. And right now, on LinkedIn, he suddenly approaches me and he was appreciating the thing. So that was actually really appreciated to me. Okay, now he got like a good job and in a company, and he's doing great. He's doing great. So for me, here in Amity, it was like it's been just only 2 years. So all the students, they might be coming up later on with the things like, I can say that the all progress that you need to go ahead from outside of your comfort zone, first of all, then only you can do something. So it's the same thing, I need to just, when I had to switch from one place to another place, it was hard for me, but at that time it was a challenge. I need to start my new laboratory with my all new enthusiasm. So that I really wanted to say. And something what I can say, hard work will always be paid off, and just believe in yourself and hard work, success will be yours. And sometimes, the success seems okay, this is a success, but it is not always like okay, and that's failure is not at all fatal, if you can say that. So this is to all the young generation: believe in yourself, do hard work, and leave what the rest of the world says about the things. Have your own vision, don't follow anyone. So this is a mantra to do. Go ahead. I was 16. I wish I were having an internet or a computer, or maybe a bit liberal, because at that time, I really wanted to go ahead to the different, a big city. I really wanted to join for my PhD to NCL Pune or something else, a big place. But due to my family constraint, I was not able to go there. And as you said earlier, the women there in India, we do have, certain restrictions and certain hesitations also. So it was that thing, my exposure was a little bit later, after my PhD. If I would have been, before PhD or in masters, I could have been a better place. No, not at all. I don't have any regrets. Yeah, one regret I can think of, while coming, it was certain decisions I took it wrong. Like, when, before coming to India, I was actually so much cluttered of the work that I really wanted to have break. So I didn't apply anywhere. I said, okay, I'll go back, take a rest, and then we'll say. So that was actually not a good decision at my end, because at that time, if I would have been in a, a permanent employee job, I would have been, a better place, like completely settled laboratory by this time. I don't need to, go from one place to another place and leave my things there. So this was the only regret what I have it. Other than everything was fine. I tried, I got it. Again, always, do something what your heart says. Right now, I can say my heart says, okay, towards my research, it's my heart-filled work. So I'm always towards this one. But always I'll say, inculcate, one hobby in you, and have a perfect balance in your professional as well as personal environment. This is actually giving you the complete balanced life. You cannot always have, the professionally success at the same time, you don't have any personal life. So that is emotionally hampering you. It's not a good for being a human being. So we need to be in harmony. And one thing you can also be keep in mind, you cannot be good in all aspects of life. If something is losing, then something is getting. Sometimes, one part is losing, another time you can grab that part too. So I hope I am a little bit clear to in my views to you. Okay, like sometimes, in your lifetime you felt, okay, you should have done better for your son or your life, but at the same time, you think, if you lack something in your personal life, again you can just put a little bit in professional life. If sometimes you are lacking in somehow professional life, you're better in a personal life. So it's a harmony that is actually needed. And a decision should be yours, always to be ourselves. This is my decision. So it's not like somebody imposes the decision to you. Always have your own decision. My hobby is listening music and going for shopping. The best part to be in India, I go for shopping, and I also go for watching movies, have my family time with my son. That's it. And apart from that, I do love to be in my lab and then don't be disturbed by anyone. That is my also, my zone of time. Okay, if I'm in lab, I don't need to think about it, what's going on in the rest of the world. Now I'm focusing on my work. That's it.